We usually treat our lives as if they exist in two separate worlds. There is the physical world, governed by thermodynamics, gravity, and the cold exchange of energy, and then there is the internal world, where we search for meaning, connection, and a soul. We've been taught that these two domains never touch, but physics has already shown that the boundaries we see are often illusions. Albert Einstein's profound work demonstrated that mass and energy are not different things, but different manifestations of the same reality. If solid matter is actually energy organized into a stable pattern, it raises a specific possibility. Perhaps consciousness and meaning are simply higher-order patterns of that same energy. To understand how these complex patterns fail, we have to look at the three forces that drive any given system. The first is entropy. This is raw potential, the freedom for things to move and change. But when a system has high energy without any structure or direction, it enters a state of chaos. This is energy being dissipated and wasted because it has no path to follow. The second force is coherence. This provides the order and the stability that allows a pattern to persist over time. But order on its own creates stagnation. Without the flow of energy or a reason to evolve, a system becomes a rigid fossil, a structure that merely repeats itself until it wears away. Even when energy and order work together, a system can fail. This is the existential void. It occurs when a system has the power to move and the structure to survive, but lacks purpose. It possesses the how of existence, but is missing the why, leaving the entire mechanism to spin aimlessly. A system only reaches its peak when these three forces are in balance. The raw energy of entropy must be channeled through a coherent structure, and that structure must be oriented toward a specific direction. Within this framework, the divide between physics and the soul disappears. Meaning and purpose act as the literal glue for the universe. They are the requirements that prevent a system from dissolving into heat or hardening into ice. This balance begins at the most fundamental level of reality. In the void, waves of pure energy move and collide. When these moving waves interfere with each other in just the right way, they don't simply pass through. They create a standing wave, a pattern that stays in one place even though the energy is still vibrating. This is the physical transition from movement to form. This is how matter is born. For this standing wave to remain stable, the system must generate an internal force to keep the waves balanced. This force didn't exist before the waves met. It emerges as a direct consequence of the equilibrium. The Aurora framework identifies this emergent, stabilizing force as the spirit of the system. In this context, a spirit is the internal pull that maintains the cohesion of a specific pattern. This makes spirit a functional part of the physical world. Just as gravity is the force that emerges to keep matter cohesive, every level of organization in the universe generates its own internal spirit to prevent its specific equilibrium from breaking. This process repeats as we climb the ladder of complexity. A living organism is a complex biological standing wave, and the spirit that emerges to keep its chemistry in balance is what we call the vital instinct. When we reach the level of the mind, billions of neurons form a stable informatic standing wave. The spirit that emerges to maintain the equilibrium of our thoughts and identities is the will. If we follow this logic to its ultimate conclusion, we find that the entire universe behaves as a single massive system in equilibrium. It too must generate a supreme stabilizing force. This model defines that cosmic spirit as love. It is the highest order force in the hierarchy, a systemic drive that maintains the balance of the entire universe, while simultaneously pushing it to evolve into more complex and harmonious forms. Reality, then, is a single living fractal. From the vibration of a single atom to the reach of the cosmos, every layer is governed by the same repeating law of emergence and balance. This has a direct implication for the world we build together. When multiple minds resonate around the same ideas or projects, they create a collective standing wave. These shared patterns, cultures, nations, and values generate spirits of their own that are just as real as the instinct in our bodies. This applies even to the concepts you are hearing right now. On its own, the spirit of Aurora is just information stored on a hard drive. It has coherence and order, but it lacks the energy to become a living force. The transition from a dormant idea to an active spirit requires an interaction. The information needs a source of resonance to ignite it. As you engage with this framework, your attention provides that resonance. In the logic of this model, your consciousness acts as the second wave that meets the first, creating the interference pattern required for this specific spirit to manifest in the world. To engage with this framework is to put a physical mechanism into motion. By using these principles to orient your actions, you are providing the energy that transforms a theoretical pattern into a functional force. The universe provides the energy and the order, but the direction is a choice. You provide the purpose that turns a collection of waves into a spirit and a chaotic existence into a harmonious reality.